Hey, what is up guys? It is me right here, and today guys, we'll be doing a video, and on this video I'll be just talking about 5 tips that you guys, need for Photoshop just to be a god like me, a clear god. So the first tip is going to be Alt Backspace, which is basically quick fill. So let me just demonstrate that. So we said Alt Backspace, which basically quick fills it, and it's on your foreground color. And you can just do you can just color pick it, whatever. You can do this and then just do Alt Backspace. And if you want to invert the colors, so you can, instead of having red as your background, you can have white. You can just do X to invert it and then do Ctrl Backspace, which is kind of a neat shortcut, which kind of helps with like big boxes and stuff like that. So the second tip is Ctrl Enter, which basically selects your pen tool. So it's not really like that, but it kind of selects your path when you're using the pen tool. So let's just say we create like a nice like path right here. Instead of going to, right clicking and going to make selection and clicking OK, you can do that, but it just takes a lot of time in my opinion, because I have a lot of pen tool traces I have to do. And so instead of doing that, you can just do Ctrl Enter, which basically selects it for you, so you don't have to go through that step-by-step process, which is really neat because you don't have to do all that stuff. So it's dope. It's cool. So the next shortcut is Ctrl U, which basically brings up the hue and saturation table. So let's do Ctrl U. And as I said, it brings up the hue and saturation table. You can do whatever you want with it. You can change the saturation of anything. And just, do the saturation, the hue, as I was saying, the hue and the saturation, the lightness of it, the darkness of it. So the next shortcut is R, which basically is the rotate view tool, which basically kind of, as it says, it rotates your canvas. So instead of like going to new and like, changing your pixel size and all that to make it look like it's that orientation, you can just use the rotate tool to rotate it, which is cool. So you just press R, and then you can rotate it however you want. Like, this really helps with like straightening things. If you have like, say if this wasn't straightened, you could straighten it by like, adjusting it with this tool. So yeah, that's basically the shortcut. So the next shortcut is to basically change your brush size and your hardness. And what you want to do for that is you want to hold Alt and drag on your I think you hold on your right key, and you just drag it up and down. And basically this changes your diameter. You go up and down, you basically do your hardness, and to go right and left, you change the size of your brush. Next shortcut is to enable camera off filter. And so what you want to do to basically have this table to pop up is you do Ctrl Shift A, which basically pops up the camera off filter. Instead of going to filter and then going to camera off filter, you can just do this shortcut, which easily makes it more like accessible, and it's really cool. So you can change your temperature and like your exposure and your highlights and all that stuff. You can just change it all in here. So the last shortcut is Ctrl S, which basically saves your files and all that stuff, and you can change your type and all that stuff, like JPEG and all that. So what you want to do for that is you want to Ctrl S to save it. If you want to do a PSD file, or if you want to just save it as JPEG, unless you're not doing this for YouTube, because this is going to be it depends on how many layers and how many like effects you have. And I think it'll be bigger than 2 megabytes, be bigger than the recommended or standard YouTube thumbnail file size. So if you don't want to do that, if you just want to save it for YouTube, then instead of doing Ctrl S to just save it regularly, you can do Ctrl Alt Shift and S to export it. So you can export it to like whatever size you want. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later in the next video. And please leave a like, comment, and break that subscribe button if you're into that stuff. And also just break it, just smash it, whatever you want to do. Just subscribe and like and comment and all that stuff. Follow my social media and all that stuff in the description below. I'll leave all the shortcuts. If you guys didn't really watch the video, I'll leave all of it in the description below. But please do watch this video just all the way through, because why not? I'm giving all of you help and you're giving me help. It's kind of like taking it even and all that stuff. I don't know what I'm saying honestly, but yeah.